Welcome to the Vincent Ford Podcast. The beauty industry is definitely changing, especially in 2025. I see a shift with beauty. I think what it is that it's just such fast beauty happening. There's so many new products, new brands. I think trends that have dominated for years are being replaced with more kind of fresh, innovative styles. And I think the way that we buy and the way that we wear makeup has completely evolved. So really, today's episode is all about diving into the biggest beauty shifts that are happening right now. And I want to talk about what's in, what's out, and why certain products are becoming the new must-haves. So, I always like to incorporate into all of my episodes a myth that I'm going to bust. I also like to break down what's actually selling in stores. And of course, I'm going to give you my top product recommendations, both high-end and the drugstore, more affordable options. And I'm going to help you stay ahead of the beauty curve. So first up, heavy glam. Heavy glam, I think, is something that is always going to be around. People like this look. Doesn't necessarily mean that the look is too heavy for everyone. It just, makeup is subjective. It's what you like and what really works for you. But I think the days of that ultra sculpted Instagram glam is shifting, and I'm seeing a huge kind of shift towards effortless skin first beauty. I've talked about this on my skincare episodes. I also talked about it on when I started for the 2025 trends. And skin is so important. I think a lot of brands are focusing on incorporating skincare ingredients that are more beneficial to people that are going to wear it every day. But I think the focus is going to be more on skin and not the amount of layers of products, but more about letting the real skin shine through. So what I think is out, what is shifting is heavy full coverage foundations. So more radiant foundations, skincare, infused foundations, tinted moisturizers, BB, CC balms, all these type of things are really popular right now. And this isn't just what I'm saying is a trend for 2025. I think this is the shift that's happening within beauty. I also think that intense baking and over powdering is finally going away. I think people don't like that texture anymore. And that kind of harsh chiseled contour, you'll see a lot of the products. I actually just used one that I'm really liking. I actually didn't write it down for here, but I've really liked it, is the Makeup by Mario, the soft sculpt sticks. I heard all this craze about them, and then I used them, and I understand why people like them, because sometimes the cream contours can be a little bit heavy, and this one just looks so soft. It's so easy to blend. So that's definitely kind of, I think, where contouring is going. It's not just there has to be a cream or a liquid, but I think it's just the softer sculpting, the like the underpainting, which I've shown before. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out on some of my videos of layering it under your foundation. But I think that kind of hard chisel contours out and more softer, kind of like structured soft glam is really in. Now, what definitely is in for what is shifting within the beauty industry is lightweight breathable formulas. So formulas that doesn't mean that they don't have coverage. You can definitely have coverage, but the finishes are just a little bit lighter. They're easier to blend. They show more of your skin. They don't feel like they're heavy and caking on your skin. And then I mentioned before underpainting. So underpainting techniques instead of heavy kind of bronzing and contouring. So about layering your products, your cream blushes, liquid blushes, contours, highlights underneath your foundation for more kind of natural soft glam. And then tinted skincare hybrids. So think of like skin tints, blush serums. So instead of like liquid blushes, cream blushes, more of like a serum blush. So it's going to give you kind of this soft diffused look. And complexion enhancing products are really in right now. I actually just got another one that I've really liked there's I think they're Korean. It's Beauty of Joseon. They have incredible skincare, Korean skincare, but they just released this kind of tinted SPF serum. And I actually wore it on myself one day, went out for lunch. No one noticed. They just complimented me on my skin. And I don't really wear makeup. So I tried it because it was so lightweight. So check that out if you want something that's lighter than tinted moisturizer, has your SPF and skincare built in. That's a really good one. Now, the trending products, I think, in this kind of niche shift, kind of high end, the one that I really like is the Lancôme Teint Idole, the Ultra Wear Care and Glow. So it's more of kind of like a glowy kind of hydrating version of the Ultra Wear. And the Teint Idole Ultra Wear has been a staple in my kit for years. I've done many videos on it. More affordable is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Serum. So, there's the True Match Foundation, which I think is a little heavier. The True Match Nude Serum is really gorgeous. The price point is just so good, especially if you just want to try something, you don't want to spend a lot. It's a really good one. Now, the other shift I'm seeing is, and this happens like every few years, but I'm seeing a lot of brands keep this within their portfolio, is the rise of multi-use products. I think people want makeup that does more. You want to simplify. I often, when I'm showing tutorials on a brand, I'll show, everything from that brand. People are like, oh, you use like 20 products. I like to show everything so that you can see kind of how to build the whole look out. You don't have to use every product. You use the ones that work for you. Pick one or two. But multi-use is great because it gives you the option of having some, a minimal kit, something just to do every day. I have a young child. I understand what it's like. Most of the time, like I haven't shaved, my hair's a mess. You got to get out. So trust me, I understand, and a busy work schedule. But I think the reason people want this is multi-use products they're dominating in the sales because they cut down on steps and they create a more natural finish. So using kind of like a cream blush for your eyes and your lips, the ones that are safe for this. Don't just use any, because not all lips and cheek products are meant for the eyes, but there are lots of ones that are multi-use. There's a lot of brands that, like NARS has had their multiple stick forever. You can use that in a lot of places. LH Cosmetics is another one that I like. She's Swedish and I've met her. She's lovely. She's a great makeup artist, but she thinks about these type of things because a lot of her products, like her pencil crayons, you can use lips, cheeks, and eyes. A lot of her products are really great for that. So that's a good brand, LH Cosmetics, if you want something multi-use. But I think this shift is happening because people obviously have a busy schedule, so less time for complicated routines. I think the hybrid formulas that combine skincare and makeup are in high demand right now. And minimalism is trendy. So, fewer products, more impact. You see this on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, all that. It's really popular right now. The trending products I think that are doing well in this space is Charlotte Tilbury has her Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer, which you can multi-use, which I think works really well. For more affordable, e.l.f. does a Halo Glow liquid filter. And this is something you can use all over the face, in your foundation, highlight, on the eyes, lips, everything works really well. Now, when I talked about that kind of cakiness and these hybrid formulas, people think, well, definitely powder is out. There's no way I can use powder. But what I think it is, we have a new age of powder. Powder isn't what it always used to be. There are, those old style, flat matte powders, and they do work for people that have oily and combination skin, but powder has evolved. And I think for years we've moved away from powders because people don't like the look of it, especially as you get older. It brings out texture, fine lines. But what I think it is that powders are making a comeback in a new way. What I think it is that there are old school powders and then there's the new type of powders. So think of the old powders as being kind of the heavy, cakey, flat matte. And the new powders are more lightweight. They're skin blurring. They're more breathable. A lot of the powders have these kind of hydrating formulas. I'm thinking about this one. I think it was Smashbox. They used to have this powder. I remember it was maybe 2007, 2008. And what's it called? Halo powder. And you twisted it and it like shaved. It was like kind of like a solid block underneath and it shaved the particles out and it was super hydrating. It was great. I don't think they make it anymore, but so the more hydrating powders have existed, but more brands are developing them. The one that I really like that's kind of more of this modern powder is Dior does this Backstage powder called Powder No Powder. And it looks really beautiful. It doesn't dry you out. And then something more affordable, Maybelline does a powder called SuperStay Hybrid Powder Foundation. So it has color in it. It's hydrating, but you can use it almost like as a powder foundation, as well as making sure that it lasts all day. That's a really good one. Now, besides kind of foundation, skincare, and powders, the other shift I'm seeing are lip trends. So we used to have that kind of like really defined, and then there was blurred, and then there's matte, and there's glossy. I think kind of the shift is happening is we're going from that sharp line to more of a blurred look. And this has really been big in Asia for many years, that kind of bitten lip look, putting color in the middle. I did a video recently for Tier, which is that cushion foundation, which I love. And everybody kept asking me on the post, even though I always put it in the captions, but if someone doesn't read it, I will tell them. It was this kind of, they call it waterism, like lip tint. And it was just like mauvey with a little bit of red undertone. And it looked gorgeous, and everybody wanted to know what it was. And this is because it's a Korean brand. Chinese, Korean, Japanese brands have always been into this blurred lip look. And I think it's effortless. It's like putting a little lipstick on your finger, blending it out. It's softer. It's quick to do. You can use a multi-use product, like I said earlier, to just do this on the go. Pop some on your cheeks, your eyes, and your lips for that kind of more monochromatic look. But I think the shift has happened from super defined and overlined to something much softer. So I think what's changing is the harsh lip liner and overlining is shifting out. I think soft diffuse edges are in. Liquid matte lips aren't really as popular as they used to be. And I think more this blotted lip stain and satin finishes. I actually saw this video. I'm still trying to get my hands on the product they were using, but it's a lip stain that you can use as a liner. So instead of, putting it all over your whole lip, you line your lips with the stain and then blot it off. And then you can just use a gloss on top of it. But what it does is this blurred lip look, it still keeps that definition if you have thin lips or you don't have like a really defined lip. And I've been looking, I don't remember which brand it was, but because you can use any lip stain with a lip brush. But what this is like a lip stain as a pencil. It's like it's like a applicator that's super I'll find it and I'll put it into the post. So really kind of the ones that I think are trending right now is MAC does a Powder Kiss lipstick, which is super easy to blend out. Looks really great. And then more affordable. I mean, MAC's pretty medium price, but I think if you want something more like budget friendly, NYX does a soft matte lip cream, which works really well for this. Now let's do some myth busting. So the one is clean beauty still the future? And, clean beauty had this massive boom. I think there was, a lot of people doing it, but obviously it's not for everyone because a lot of the influencers that were doing it had perfect skin. So of course, clean beauty is really easy. But for the everyday person, I think people are starting to question it a bit because it's not necessarily a technique that works for everybody, but it's also about the ingredients because a lot of times people are saying, these brands are saying, we do clean beauty, and you read the ingredients and there's tools that you can put the ingredients through and it will tell you what they do and if there's any concerns with them. And if it's labeled clean, people think it's automatically better for you, but it's not always true. So I think this is false. I think many clean formulas still use synthetic ingredients that aren't always the best that you should be using. So really look at it, not that every brand has to have organic ingredients, but, if you're going to say you're clean beauty, I don't think using the synthetic ingredients in there really lets you claim this. So don't always just take the label on the front. Make sure you're doing your research, you're reading the ingredients. If you have sensitivities to it, if you're reacting to it, figure out what it is, because a lot of times it's the synthetic versions of these ingredients. And then the real trend, I think, is science-backed beauty. So instead of looking at, it says it's clean, it's organic, it's more about the research. So I think a lot of consumers, they care more about efficacy over what the label says. So the efficacy is, does it have real world results? Does it work for you? Are there real people claiming that it actually did this? I think that is more important than just claiming it's an organic product. Now, the one that I think is doing really good in this kind of clean beauty kind of sphere is Estee Lauder does a futuristic skin tint. It's super clean. Doesn't have all the kind of fillers and things. And then more affordable is Revlon does an Illuminance skin caring foundation, which is a great way to get into like clean beauty on a budget. Now, really kind of the shift I'm seeing is, the beauty industry is evolving. It's evolving fast. The products that are selling right now prove that people want makeup that's easy, that's breathable, that's multifunctional. So I think that it's a request that a lot of people want. So brands are finally becoming aware of this and are creating these. But really, I want you to tell me, like the beauty shift that's happening, what are you loving the most? Are you into the blurred lips? Are you excited for the return of powders? If you are, let me know. If you're not, let me know. But I really love to hear from you how you think the beauty industry is shifting. And don't forget to subscribe for any pro makeup insights, which I love to give. And I am going to have some guests on. I have some book that I'm going to be filming in the next few weeks, so I can really delve into topics that I can't just answer on my own. So make sure to, if you're listening to this on YouTube or Spotify, to subscribe. And I'm trying to get episodes out once or twice a week. And I will see you next time.